Hi everybody, hello, and welcome to Ascensions Love with Alice. Welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about that sacred moon cycle today. I'm not talking about the one in the sky, I'm talking about the one in here, in that very sacred vessel within us. Now, regardless of gender, we all have an energetical moon cycle, but I'm going to be looking more at the physical one. So if you are in a female anatomy and you have a moon cycle, a physical sacred bleed. I'm just going to be talking a little bit about that today, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to actually bring this topic forward because it's one that I get asked about quite a bit. It's also one that is becoming more and more people, more and more women especially, but not just women, men as well, are starting to recognize the sanctity of this magic and what it is, because for so long it's been shamed, for so long it's been kind of pushed aside, for so long it's kind of been like an inconvenience for many people, and that is not the intention of it, right? Of that beautiful cycle. When you hear me talk about the actual physical moon and the new moon, the full moon, and how we work with those phases, when you are in a female anatomy having a physical moon cycle as well, you also have that overlap of your own personal moon cycle. That's why it's called, moon time, right? And it's so important to allow yourself to be in the flow of that, right? When we are all kind of really tuned into the cyclical nature and really balanced in our feminine energies, we tend to notice that the moon cycle will align usually more with a full moon or a new moon. But sometimes it will shift to maybe the last quarter. If there is another very powerful cosmic transit happen, you may feel that the moon cycle has shifted. So, for example, for me this month, I normally align with the full moon to have my sacred bleed, and the bleed of your moon cycle is like the new moon. It's like that kind of the dark moon, new moon phase, and then you go through that month, right? And ovulation being the full moon, where it's like the peak of energy, right? The peak of all the abundance coming in and things like that. But what's really interesting is that, when your physical moon cycle aligns with a different part of the actual lunar cycle in the sky, what's really interesting is then you do have this overlap and you can really, really work with that. But before we actually go into that type of magic, there's a few things that I want to just mention, because I don't want this video to go on too long. I may very well do a series of these videos to kind of talk about different aspects here, but what I want to talk about is actually your personal, how to stay balanced, right? How to stay balanced in your physical vessel, because the products that we have out there on the market for women to, and they call them sanitary products, and I don't really enjoy that term for things like, for whatever we're going to use to work with our moon cycle. Back in the ancient times, that moon cycle would be so sacred that, most women would have a wild, what they call a wild moon cycle, right, where you actually don't collect it with anything. You just let it do what it needs to do, and women would work collectively together to heal the land, because the really interesting thing about the sacred blood is that this is the only blood that is shed without violence, right? This is sacred creation blood. The power that is held there, it unveils the mysteries of the world, of creation. It brings you deep wisdom, deep healing, initiation. You can physically heal many things because of the stem cells that is carried in that sacred moon time as well. So, women would allow and offer their sacred blood into the land to bring abundance of crop, of growth, right? To honor the earth. Women would work with this sacred blood to heal wounds, physical wounds, right? And I know that's kind of like, to say that in today's day and age might be a bit, shocking to some people, and maybe not to others. Maybe you're hearing this and that, and you're like, oh, that resonates. I resonate with that, and especially right now, this year specifically, I've been seeing around me a lot of seeded A lot of like ancient wisdom and remembrance being seeded within people. Mary Magdalene's been very present the past 2 years, seeding her wisdom, seeding the ancient feminine mysteries, the mysteries of Isis Osiris, right? Especially the mysteries of Isis, right, as that divine feminine. But today I really specifically wanted just to talk about what we are, because as within, so without, what are we putting in that space? Because when we buy something from a supermarket, from a brand, a marketing brand, who, sell a box of whatever for however much, whether it's something that's being inserted or something that is laying underneath that very sacred Yoni space, the amount of chemicals that are in those products cause a lot of cramping, a lot of heavy bleeding, and things that are just unnecessary for us to go through. When we are in alignment with our cycle, when we're in alignment with our bodies and just balanced, the moon cycle doesn't usually actually, doesn't cause inconvenience, it doesn't cause pain, it doesn't cause uncomfortableness. Sometimes she may express herself in a certain way because of whatever the actual moon is doing up there as well, and because of what you personally are releasing or healing. And, whether it's aligned with a water moon, a fire moon, an air moon. So, for example, like, your moon cycle will change each month because of whatever it is that you're working with. But I just really wanted to talk about first, before we go into, I will do a series on this, before we go into the deeper magic of the moon cycle, I want to talk about what you can actually use instead, right, in a practical sense, to actually so you're not adding chemicals, you're not adding anything into your body that your body doesn't need. So first and foremost, if you are used to using tampons, when you stop using those and when you switch to something else, your body will thank you, your womb will thank you, you will not be feeling the cramps that you felt. I remember when I first switched over, I use an Athena cup right now, which looks like this, right? And, you squeeze it, it goes in. I know, right? There might be people watching this going, what is she doing? Why is she talking about this? Because it's time, and it's natural, and it's sacred, it's holy, it really is. But I use an Athena cup, right? And that goes in and that collects. You can leave that in all day. And that's incredible as well. And we're going to talk about that probably in the next video because of some of the deep wisdom that can come from that blood if you choose to paint with it or something like that. And I will share a painting that I have done in this group, because they carry key codes, light codes, activation, deep healing for anyone that lays their eyes on it, right? Especially if it's something for the collective, and I do have one that was for the collective. But whenever you look upon something, the power and the remembrance that activates within you is profound. So working with a cup, right, that you can sterilize and clean and make sure that everything is very, very pure in that. Because when I switched from using tampons, this was a few years back now, this was a good few years back, when I switched from that to this, I noticed immediately the difference in my body, the difference in my mood, the difference in my energy, and the difference in my physical experience, right, of a moon cycle. You can also as well, look for like bamboo made reusable pads, right, or whatever you wish to call them. And it's so important that we do start this topic here. And I know it's one of those topics that's kind of like a bit, is she really going there? Yeah, I am, because there has been such desecration and shame of the female anatomy, right? The male as well, right? The male anatomy as well, but specifically the female anatomy in recent millennia, and the female cycles in recent millennia, right? Around that, and every product that is out there in a shop right now tends to be still targeted towards that shame, desecration, right? And no more, right? So you can even purchase, like I have some reusable pads that I will sometimes use as well, if that's what my moon cycle is asking for me. But the thing is we want to tune into your Yoni, tune into that space, tune into what she's asking you, tune into what she's sharing with you, tune into what she needs, right? Tune into what she needs. Listen to her, the wisdom that comes from her. That wisdom creates new human beings, amongst many other things, right? And once again, regardless as to whether you are actually in a female anatomy or not, whether you still have a moon cycle or not, energetically you do, right? energetically you do. So you can still tap into this energy, but when you have that physical releasing of the blood as well, that is so powerful. It's one of the most powerful forces on this planet, in this whole universe. It really is. And I'm looking forward to bringing another video to actually go into some of the ways that some of the deep magic of the Yoni space, to some of the deep magic of the womb mysteries in this group, and that will probably be on next Friday, so stay tuned for next Friday's video as well, unless I get asked by the goddess to bring it through earlier. I'll keep it to Venus days, right? Venus days or moon days. So I hope this has been helpful for a little intro to this topic. Please feel very welcome to email me at ascension@aliceheath.com if you have any questions, if you want to share anything. Thank you for the kind soul who did ask me recently about painting with that cycle and what healing and what initiation that can bring, and I will very much look forward to bringing that through next week as well, in next week's video. So sending you all so much love. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your Venus day, right? And have a wonderful weekend. So much love to you. Mwah. Bye for now.